Well, hello there. Happy New Year. And thank you so much for joining us on the first Creator Checkup of 2026. My name is Alan C. Paul. It is so good to be back after we took a break, I guess you could say, for the holidays, but also kind of like just to reevaluate whether or not we were going to continue to do these Creator Checkups on the same time. Well, I will say kind of at all, but also we wanted to make sure that this time still worked. So, for lots of different reasons, we didn't go live last week and the week before. But most importantly, we are here now on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And we are also trying out a new platform. You guys may have heard me talk about Riverside before. Well, now we're streaming from Riverside to LinkedIn and to Facebook. So we're going to see how this works. If there's any technical issues, let me know. If anything kind of feels kind of weird, like, oh, I can't hear you. Clearly, that's the number one thing, being able to hear us. Also, of course, chat. We want you to share in the chat, but I may not be able to see all of the chats from the different apps. We got to see how that works with Riverside. So we're trying out some new things, but I really am hopeful that this is going to be a really, really cool way for us to continue our creator checkup. So if you're watching this on replay, please go ahead and share that you are watching on replay in the comments. That way I can always go back and I can respond and we can continue the conversation. The whole point of the creator checkup is to help you to advance your unique creator lifestyle 1 week at a time. So every week we think of some things that would help you to advance, to grow, to think, to encourage you, to inspire you, to help you in all of these areas. And of course, we call it a checkup because it's kind of like a doctor's checkup, right? You come in each week, you make sure everything, well, for a doctor, you don't go in every week, that might be bad. But for your physician or whoever you get checked up with, you check in, you check out your vital signs, which is what we call our vital signs. So that's usually our first segment after we do some news and notes. And then we do a lab work, just like a doctor would do lab work. We do some lab work with what's actually happening. We look at some data, some facts, some statistics, some strategies. And then we go into the consult. And the consult is where we like to have this interaction between all of us that are sharing in the God and Gigs community about a certain question or certain topic, something that's burning issue, something like that. So we try to kind of connect all three of those dots. And then we finish up with the prescriptions, if I can say that right. Prescriptions are just the next thing to do. Like, hey, what's the next step I should take? And that's what we share in our prescription. So that's the 4 steps that we take in our creator checkups if you're new to this. Also, once again, I'm going to check out and see if there's any public chat. And I'm going to do this just to see if this works. I'm going to say hello here in the chat. And let's see how this works. This is an experiment. So you guys let me know what you see, whether or not everything is working. Okay, so I saw a chat pop up in God and Gigs for YouTube. So that means YouTube, it looks like I am able to at least see your comments. Now, unlike StreamYard, I can't pop your comments up on screen. Again, we're just going to figure this out as we go. Oh, wait, I just learned something. Yes, we can. Ha! I did not know that was possible. So this is cool. Now, LinkedIn friends, we never were able to do that. So it's kind of cool that at least we do have that capacity here. So look, we're learning all together. This is really cool. I really like the fact that once again, this is kind of like the lab work where we're literally figuring out what works. So let's go ahead also and make sure our slides work. All right. And you don't see anything yet, but that's because it's an empty slide. And on to the check up today is where we're going to share. See my screen there and everything. We're going to share what's going on with Podfest. Podfest is super cool. I'm going to share about that. You'll learn what that is and why you should be there. Our U version plan update. So amazing that we have 6 plans up. I'll talk about that. Our January workshop announcement. I have a date for our January workshop. Then we'll talk about our vital signs. Which creator mindset is guiding you in 2026? This is a super important conversation. It goes along with one of our most popular resources that I'll share with you. Then we'll talk about our lab work, setting up your plans for 2026. What should you be doing to get ready for a successful year? Then we're going to go into the consult, as I mentioned, and this is super cool. It's something we're doing with our membership, with our community. We're asking everybody what your creator compass is for the year. And so what I'm trying to find out is what's the thing that's guiding you this year? The scripture, the verse, the thought, what's guiding you in your creative lifestyle? Then finally, we'll get to prescriptions. And as I mentioned, that's something that we get to share, which is I would suggest highly all of you subscribe to the 360 Creator Resource Center, where we'll also be throwing in a free gift for you if you join today. All right, let's keep it moving. As you can see, we had an amazing podcast episode last week, or I guess you could say this week, Friday. And that is where we shared the apps that we kept when we had a cash crunch. So there was a cash crunch last year. I had a major struggle. Like, basically, I'll tell you in a nutshell, I tried to go kind of cold turkey on my music career and my music gigs. Didn't look for anything. Okay. I was like, oh, all the income's coming from content. Well, in November, looks like people sometimes don't buy from educational stuff because they are buying gifts and Thanksgiving turkeys and things. So there was a major issue where there was no funds and I had to throw some apps out because I simply couldn't afford them. As a matter of fact, to be straight up with you, one of the reasons why I am using Riverside right now to stream is because we said, hey, if I'm already paying for this particular app, why not use all of its capacities? And to be straight up with you, that's one of the things that I had to make a hard choice with, because StreamYard is extremely cool and I love StreamYard, but did it make sense to pay for two apps when one app does what the other app does? And so this was one of the examples that I'm doing right now of apps that I decided not to pay for anymore and apps I decided to continue paying for. And Riverside's one of them. You can check out all the rest of them right here on the live stream on our YouTube page. You can go to the very last episode, the very last video, and you'll see this. All right, let's see what's going on inside. Oh, almost thought that there was some chat going on. But if you are watching live, please feel free to chat, because I, again, can see your, at least your YouTube messages. We are able to see them. So feel free to send some messages in if any of this applies to you. And the conversation always helps us to keep the live stream more and more interesting for everybody that's watching. So if you can, maybe you're not watching in a place where you can actually like get to your phone and comment. I get that. But if you can, it'd be great to see that. Okay. This is now a super, super, super exciting time because it's the last week. By next week, I don't know if I'll be able to go live. We will try. But I will be at the PodFest conference in Orlando. We're speaking there. This is like my fourth or fifth time speaking, I think. And it is probably the highlight of my year. You can think of it honestly as a family reunion and a shot in the arm of inspiration and knowledge for all things podcasting and content creation. Now, I want to make this clear. A lot of you are not podcasters. This doesn't mean that PodFest is not a good conference to go to, because literally we run the gamut from YouTubers. One of the most successful YouTubers ever, Pat Flynn, will be our keynote speaker. He's been able to build not only one channel, but a second channel on a totally different niche. He went from content creation and helping podcasters and entrepreneurs to Pokemon cards and built a channel that has had over 3.5 billion views. Like, that's the kind of person you want to talk to no matter what you are in. And you might say to yourself, wait, it's too late. It's next week. There's no way I can get to Orlando. I have a ticket link for you that will save you money if you decide to still make the trip down here to Orlando by next week. It starts on the 15th, goes all the way to the 18th through Sunday. I'll be there through Saturday night. Then I got to get back for church. But I would love for some more people to join us, especially if you're in Florida, if you're nearby, if you're in Miami, anywhere where you can make the drive. It's worth it. So you can go to godandgigs.com/podfest and you can get 10% off of whatever the ticket price is currently. That's on all the different tiers. You can get VIP, you can get Creator Pass, Expo Pass, all these different passes. So I would love to see you there. I'll be speaking on Saturday on 5 ways to build a trusted podcast brand by aligning voice and visuals. So I would love to see you there. If you are going, let me know. I would love to see you at the actual workshop that I'll be teaching. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of our other podcast friends there. Now, a little quick update on YouVersion. I am still so grateful that last year we made a real commitment to share on the YouVersion app. The YouVersion app is the biggest Bible app in the world. And there are so many resources, especially now in January. Many of you are saying, hey, I need to start reading the Bible this year. I want to read the whole Bible. I want to read the Bible daily. I want to be consistent with it this year. Well, in that case, that's why we want to make sure there are plenty of plans for you that apply to Christian creators. So all of those are there. You can go to godandgigs.com/uversion to see any and all of them. But if you would like to know, we are planning to put out new ones. Let's see if I can do something real quick. This is my learning. Let's see if we can put that link. Ah, wow, that popped up right away, huh? Oh, no, you can't see it. Okay, I thought it popped up. I was like, wait, what's going on? This is a preview. So let's give you guys that. So that's where you can go to see any of these plans. It will take you to the YouVersion app. And we are, I want to say, at over 1,000 completions on, gosh, which two? On Creators Authority. And I want to say Creators Battle or Creators Purpose. We're very close, I think, on Creators Timing to 1,000 completions. So if you're in a community, you would like to share this with a friend, it would be amazing because it would be so cool to have 3 plans that have over 1,000 completions. And YouVersion is kind of like YouTube, where they value the content that is being completed, people that are finishing the plans. The other kind of plans they like, honestly, are annual plans. I've never thought about doing an entire year plan, but who knows? Maybe this will be the year that we do it. So we'll see. But I would love to get your feedback and continue to share these resources with you. All right, let's keep it moving. I want to say hello to all of our 360 creators. Guys, sorry, my voice is losing. I'm just got to take a sip of something. It's been a while since I've talked. See, I can tell I'm out of practice with my live streams. So I want to say thank you to every 360 creator. This is our community where we have gathered for years now. Once, same thing as last. I'm being very transparent. It was a question of whether we were going to stay on the same app in our community. It was never a question whether we'll have a community, but we decided to stay on our Mighty app, Mighty Networks, which is amazing. It's a great platform. And these are just a few of the people who you could join if you decide to join our membership. There's 2 levels of our membership. The Creator Resource Center is kind of like a subscription where you get into the app, but you also get access to all of our templates and trainings, including those from last year. I decided not to delete any of our trainings from last year. So basically, we're going to get a new set of workshops, plus last year's workshops, plus a few more. So you're going to have almost by the end of this year, 50 different workshops that you could have access to. And each one, I like to say this, beats ChatGPT. Because you could either go to ChatGPT and ask a random generalized question that gets you random generalized answers that you don't really know who these experts are that share. Or you could go right to the expert in the Creator Resource Center on taxes, on prayer, on marketing, on building partnerships, on networking, on content creation. Everything that applies to a Christian creator is inside our Creator Resource Center. As a matter of fact, this year, maybe, as you can see, I'm trying to be very specific with my language. And I used to not say Christian creator. It's not because I don't believe in Christianity. It's not because I'm not a Christian, but I just felt like I didn't want to scare away people who wouldn't understand that there's more value to this than just to Christian creators. But the more I realize that, hey, why am I not like owning what this is? We are Christian now. We welcome everyone, but we really want you to know that the way that we follow God and the way that we follow Christ informs and enhances our creator lifestyles. So I'm no longer trying to hide from the Christian creator label or Christian content creator. I see some people say that too. Not just because I want to get SEO and people to like find us, although that's true. I also want to be really clear this year on who we serve. We serve faith-focused Christian creators in the mainstream. So you don't have to be inside the church, but you do have a faith-filled, Christ-centered background and worldview, which informs your creative lifestyle. And then we try to help you to live the most fulfilling creative lifestyle that is unique to you. So that's what we do in God and Gigs 360. Okay. The Gold Mastermind is basically the next tier up, where it is live coaching added to everything inside the Creator Resource Center. Tomorrow we have a TMI session On Monday, we have a gold creator session. So more live touch points with other creators like you. That's what you get inside the membership. All right, let's keep it moving. And we are now getting into, oh yeah, I just want to show you some of the things that people have said, nice things they have said about the Creator Resource Center and God and Gigs 360 app in general. So that's just a small portion of what we have experienced inside the membership. So if you want to join us, by the way, it's easy, easy, easy. All you got to do is go to, let me find it now, because once again, I'm trying to find my way around. Go to godandgigs.com/membership. godandgigs.com/membership, or godandgigs.com/app also works. Okay. That's how you get there. All right. I think we finished all of our news and notes. And let's play around a little bit. Let's see if I have my stinger. I'm going to try this. You guys see I'm playing around with stuff to see if this works. We have some other stuff, by the way, that I've never tried before. So let's just say I was clapping for Simony and for Claudette and Pamela and Charmaine. I just wanted to give them a shout out. Say, hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see if this works. Yep. You got that so I might be playing around with some things in Riverside to see if this stuff works, okay? And one of the things we're going to play with right now is to play our stinger as we switch to our next section. Wait 1 second. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, I know why I can't do it. I just learned something. All right, y'all give me half a second. I'm going to go here. We have to stop sharing for a second. And then we're going to go here. We're going to see if this works. I don't know if I like this. We'll see. All right. Well, we could do that. We'll see. We'll like that. But I actually don't want to interrupt the presentation too much. So we may not play our stingers in Riverside. We'll see how that works. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot this last news. Save the date. We are scheduling our first workshop of 2026. It will be, as you can tell from the picture, focused on Bible, focused on the Bible, focused on studying the Bible, focused on reading the Word and how we can do so more effectively that affects our musical, creative lives. And all of that will be done for those who are in the membership, and those who are outside the membership. You can pay a ticket price. I would always advise you to just go ahead and upgrade and just go ahead and get the membership so you get it every week or every month without having to pay an extra fee each time you want to come in, and you get all the other benefits. But that's January 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern is when we're going to do our workshop. Almost forgot about that. I'm glad that popped up. All right, now we are to our vital signs. All right, let's switch this up a little bit. Now we'll stay here, okay? I'm just trying out some things. So we're going to stay here for now. Just have to get used to the different places where I'm looking and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, actually, you know what? After this, we will go ahead and go here. So, thank y'all for letting me kind of figure things out as I was trying to figure out what goes where, how to do the presentations, and so on. This is all a learning process for me this week. Okay, so which creator mindset is guiding you in 2026? So this is where I would love to get some feedback from you as we're sharing. Now I'm going to continue this because what you might know is this portion of the live stream is actually repurposed, and I actually use this for our podcast episode on Monday. So you're going to hear this if you watch or listen. You're going to see this again, this particular portion on our podcast episode, because not everybody catches this YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll make sure that this section is made that everybody can get all the information. But while I am sharing, please feel free to jump into the chat, because as I'm sharing, I would love to see what you think of which of these 5 creator mindsets fit you. Okay. And by the way, all of these creator mindsets that I'm mentioning, there is a quiz that talks about all of them. And all you have to do is to go to godandgigs.com/quiz, and you can find out more about these 5 creator mindsets and which one applies to you. Okay, so godandgigs.com/quiz is where you can go if you want to find out about all of these creator mindsets. But I'm going to talk about each one so you kind of know what you're looking for. And then when you answer these questions, it will make all the sense in the world. Okay, so let's talk first about the whole point of a creator mindset, or what I also call a creator operating system. There are certain ways that we look at the world as creators. And when we integrate our faith, it then affects the way that we actually look at what we do as creators. Now, here's what I mean by that. You may already know you have a gifting and a calling as a creator. You may know you have a ability to write, the ability to sing. That's known to you. You know what your gifting is. You know what your abilities are simply by the fact that you're you and you have lived in your life and you are aware. For my sake, my example would be I'm aware that I'm a musician and that music is really like the way that I express myself to the world. And it's a God given gift that I've decided to cultivate. So my actual gifting is not in question. What I do with my gift is not necessarily in question, right? But how I perceive myself and my gift then has a huge impact on whether or not I pursue my gift to the best of my ability as a unique creator that God gave a certain unique pathway in order to fulfill the gift that He put within me. So there may be unseen or kind of operating systems. That's why I like to say operating systems, because an operating system works in the background. Your mindset works in the background. You're not aware of it. It really kind of constitutes what works or what creates your mindset and the way that you think, the way that you do things. And because that is the way that you do things, without realizing that that's your mindset, your operating system, you are making certain decisions that are impacting the way that your gift is being used, the way that you are interacting with the world, whether you're even using your gifting or not, whether you're trying to go full time as a creator or not. Those decisions are being based on the way that you look at the world and the way that you look at your creative life. Is this making sense? If that is the case, that your creator mindset and your creator operating system really defines the way that you are pursuing your creative calling, whether or not you're aware of that, it makes sense then to dig deeper and to look at how are you actually thinking about your creator gift. So we're going to look at these 5 creator mindsets. I'm actually going to go ahead and kind of break them down one by one. And then we're going to share where, like I said in the quiz, where you might have one of these characteristics of one of these mindsets and how it could impact your daily creative life throughout 2026. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the closet creator. The closet creator. Now, the closet creator is the person who knows they have a gift and a calling, but for whatever reason, they feel like, hey, I'm not supposed to share this in public. The closet creator has a mindset that people are not supposed to, they usually have this mindset of humility, and that means that they should hide the gift, because if they were to go out there and promote themselves or share it would be trying to draw attention to themselves. It doesn't always mean that they're introverted, but usually or many times this means it's an introverted person that feels like their gift is not supposed to be seen. They may be pursuing their gift in private, in secret. You might be writing for yourself, writing your own poems, writing your own books, perhaps even ideas for a book, but you never share them. You might be singing in maybe the back of the choir. You do sing in the choir, but you would never consider a solo. You would never consider singing out in public. These are the kind of things that a closet creator kind of puts on the top or the lid of their thinking, which means everything they do flows from being a closet creator. And let me once again say, none of these are bad. You can be a closet creator, and that might be exactly where you're supposed to be. But you have to be aware that you are operating from a closet creator mentality, because you may be feeling some frustration. You may say, why can't I get out of my own way? Why can't I go out here and actually pursue this calling? Why do I feel like every time that I get ready to post something that I get so nervous and I want to shut down? Well, it's because you're operating from a closet creator mindset. So once you are aware of the closet creator mindset, now you can actually go forward and say, hey, I want to adapt, change, evolve, grow into a different operating system. I don't want to operate as a closet creator in 2026. But you got to be aware that that's what your mindset is. So that's the first one of the mindsets you got to be aware of. If you are fearful, if you are doubtful that you should be seen, if you feel like everybody else is singing, dancing, playing, drawing, writing, creating, no room for me, that's a closet creator mindset that you're starting from. And that's why I want to make sure we point it out. Once again, you want to learn more about whether or not you are that, you can always go to our quiz. The second type of creator mindset or creator operating system is the conflicted creator. Now, the conflicted creator is also aware of their gift. They're aware of their calling. They know God gave them a particular gift or ability, but they are conflicted. And the reason why it's called conflicted is because they don't know if God is okay with them sharing their gift outside of a ministry, church, a secular versus sacred kind of position. They are worried that if they are to share their gift in the mainstream arts, content creation, and entertainment space, that God will judge them, that they are only supposed to do this for ministry. And even if they do not kind of feel that kind of conflict, they're still kind of up in the air on whether their purpose is to serve the world and to share their gift in this area of kind of like giving yourself this platform. It's kind of like the closet creator, but a little different because now the conflict is your faith and your ability to see God using you in this area. So, conflicted creators, if you are sensing this even as I'm talking, the problem is that you've got to reconcile that God calls each one of us uniquely. And you may be struggling as a conflicted creator with the idea that God will give you a unique path that does involve what, again, I hate to use the word secular, but that's kind of like the way the mainstream is where I like to say it. You may be kind of feeling this pressure to conform to a strictly religious, strictly church related, strictly ministry creator lifestyle, and that might not be what God is calling you to. He definitely called me out of a solely worship, music, church only position into a unique creative lifestyle that includes performing jazz, blues, R&B, includes traveling, includes playing all these different genres of music, and never feeling anymore guilty about it. So, conflict creators, you might be already kind of in the space and making decisions based on that conflict that's already kind of running in the background all the time and not realizing that you have the choice to modify, to think of things differently from a different mindset if you are aware that you're starting from a conflicted creator mindset. Okay. So the third of the mindsets is the complicated creator. Now, complicated creators, your mindset is not necessarily that you're in the closet, nor that you're conflicted, is that you're doing all the things. Complicated creators are struggling with the idea that how am I supposed to pursue God's call for my creator life? So whatever it is, dancing, singing, drawing, acting, screenwriting, songwriting, whatever that is, you are like, how am I supposed to do that and be a promoter on social media? How am I supposed to do all that and be able to be there for my family? How can I do all this creative stuff and still, make an income and not leave my full-time job? The complicated creator feels and is operating from a place of it's always too much. There's no way I can handle all of these things. And so, because you are starting from that standpoint, once again, think about the mindset that you're starting from. You are already starting from a place that you assume that creative lifestyles for a Christian creator always involve too much on your plate, too many things to deal with. You're not sure how to handle the business side of creativity. You're not sure how to handle how do I balance this with my ministry. All of the things kind of keep getting poured in, and you assume from the get-go, from that point, that this is going to be complicated forever. And so, once again, recognize from the beginning of this mindset that if you are already thinking this way, It's affecting the way that you approach everything about your creative lifestyle. It's impacting the way that you decide not to take on opportunities, that you decide to ignore certain things, or that you get kind of under so much pressure when you see a potential opportunity, you're worried whether or not you can even handle it. This is why it's so important, again, to be aware of your mindset, of your operating system, so that you can see in 2026, if opportunities come and you're thinking like a complicated creator, you're going to have a lot of trouble simply unpacking all of that. We want to do that on the front end. That's why we're talking about it right now. So remember, we talked about closet creators, talked about the conflicted creators, and we talked about the complicated creators. Now, you might say, okay, well, what else is there? There's a fourth one called the corporate creator. Now, I'm really, really, really honestly very grateful for the people in the God and Gigs community who have shown me that being a corporate creator is not a bad thing necessarily. A corporate creator is simply the person that is keeping their 9 to 5, who continues to really focus on whatever their particular business is inside. It doesn't have to be a corporate space, it could be any kind of work that they do. But they are definitely not deciding to leave behind their full time work to pursue this full time creator lifestyle at this time. The thing is, they are struggling, corporate creators are struggling with the point of, who am I? Am I this creative person, or am I this corporate 9 to 5 person? You're feeling a tension between the identity of being a full time worker in whatever field you're in that has nothing to do with creative work, and this kind of other life you're living as a creator, singer, songwriter, dancer, whatever that is. And you're really kind of wrestling with the who am I of it all. And so, corporate creators, you might be making decisions based on one of those two identities. One minute you're making a decision saying, hey, I'm a creative, I got to go this way. But then the next minute you're saying, no, I can't do that because I am a corporate person, I'm a boss, I'm an entrepreneur in this particular area that has nothing to do with creativity. So that can't, it's always a dichotomy or a yes or no, black or white kind of mindset that you're making your decisions from as a corporate creator. Once again, this doesn't mean that corporate creators can't exist or can't thrive. It just means you have to be aware that that is your mindset and your operating system before you go into making decisions about your creator lifestyle going into 2026. And finally, there are the confident creators. Now, yeah, you might think that, okay, obviously a confident creator means there's no problems. You're kind of right. I don't mean that any of these are the only ways that you should be conducting your creative lifestyle. I'm saying that in this case, the confident creator is aware of all of those different four possibilities, and they have approached it now where they understand how to integrate everything into their creator lifestyle in a way that does not ever make them feel like they're moving in the wrong direction, that they're in the wrong place. The confident creator is completely sure that they're following God's unique path for them. Doesn't mean that there aren't issues where there's problems with income, problems with building a community, problems with trying to find the next gig, problems with that. Does not mean that the confident creator does not have problems. It just means that they have the mindset that there are solutions out there, that God has called them, and they are aware of where to go to find the answers to their creative problems. The confident creator is not necessarily the person who's full time. It just means that they are very aware of what they're trying to accomplish, how they're going to accomplish it, and they feel a sense of fulfillment and joy in pursuing their God given creative calling. The confident creator is the person that you can go to and they say, hey, no matter what, I'm confident in who I am as a believer, as a follower of God, as a creator, and I'm looking forward to expanding and growing and learning what's next. So the confident creator, again, doesn't mean life is perfect. But if you're operating from this mindset, you have the confidence that you can pursue new goals, that you can continue on with what you were trying, that you can kind of make things kind of, fit things in and figure things out. And you have a can-do mentality as a creator. And so I really hope that more and more of these other four will realize that, hey, I can kind of deal with what that is, but I'm going to move into the confident creator category and my mindset. Now, I hope that has blessed you and helped you to see that all five of these mindsets, again, whether or not you're in one or the other, they can be managed and they can be turned into an asset so that you can end up, the whole goal, of course, is to end up as a confident creator. If you would like to pursue or check out any of these particular mindsets, go to godandgigs.com/quiz. That's where you go to take the confident creator quiz to see if you are a confident creator. And then you can go find your scores. You can sign up for our newsletter at the same time to get more additional resources to see what will help you in each one of these mindsets. Okay, my friend, that has been our vital signs for today. So I appreciate you guys joining in. If there's any other questions, I would love to see it in the comments. I would love to also, once again, have you guys to comment and chat right now. If you have any ideas, any questions about the mindsets, I would love to see that. But we're going to continue things going on, and now we're going to move into our lab work. And like I said, I noticed that for this, it's hard to do the whole stinger thing, go back and forth. So we're not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to go right into our lab work. Let me get a sip just to keep myself moving here on the caffeine. Okay, now, as we talk about setting up your planning for 2026, I want to share that, okay, first of all, I just got my paper planners like right before I started this live stream. So I don't know, I'll probably have to go full screen to do this. Let me see if I have to go full screen. I have to stop. Oh, yeah, I got to stop for you to see this whole thing. I can do it like this. And so I've got my paper planners here. And you can see I got both of them the same. One of these is last year. One of these is this year. I think this is last year. I don't really change much. Like I always stick with the same kind of planner each year. Okay, so one of the things right away off the bat that I want to talk about when it comes to planning for 2026 is where do you decide to kind of store all of your plans? Some of us, we love to write. Others of us, we use the digital. I am a hybrid. I do digital and I do written. And so the planning for 2026 really for me is first making sure my systems still are helpful and effective in planning. So I have my Google Calendar. I have this, and I really link all of it together with my Outlook for church. So I have all these three systems. It's like, okay, these systems have to talk to each other or else things are going to fall through the cracks. So one of the first and most important things has been to make sure that my systems are still functioning and operating and working for me and not against me. So I would say for you, if you are right now planning, trying to get your goals together, before you get into the actual goals, look into how you are actually writing down, how you catalog these goals, because the system that you use to kind of keep things organized will impact whether or not you pursue and can actually follow through with your goals. If the system breaks down, you don't have it written down, you don't know where you wrote it, you're not sure where you're going to keep it. Are you going to keep it in a notebook? Are you going to keep it on your laptop in a form of a Google Doc? Like where? So I would evaluate the systems that you're going to use for your planning even before you actually do the planning, because that's going to be super important in terms of what you decide to do. After I start the system check, like the system audit, now it's time to look at the actual things I'm going to be doing. Now, as a content creator, musician, podcaster, author, there's a bunch of goals I have written down, right? A bunch of things I want to accomplish this year. So I do have to kind of draw a circle around the things that I'm going to do. Now, you may have heard of this. It's called the 12-week year. Now, the reason I mentioned the 12-week year, even though there are many, many, many different ways to look at planning for 2026, one of the things that I'm sure of is that things will change. And me trying to make plans for the entire year, 9 times out of 10, the plans will change before I even get to month 2. As a matter of fact, that's why many people quit with their resolutions, because things change. I'm thinking right now of the verse, Habakkuk, write the vision and make it plain so they may run who read it, right? So we've heard this verse many times if you've been in church. And so writing the vision is just the one part, but making it plain and simple so that people can run that read it is the second part. And one of the things I think we get in trouble with is trying to plan out an entire year thinking that everything will remain the same. Because once things change, you have to go back and reevaluate. This is where a lot of the complications lie, because now we got to rewrite and refocus and redo everything that we did, because now life has totally changed. Those of you who know about the 12-week year know that the idea is only plan for 12 weeks and put all of your emphasis into how you're going to change things in the 12 weeks. I like this particular methodology. I don't necessarily do it all the way through in terms of like following all their worksheets and all that kind of stuff. But I do like the idea of just focusing on the next 12 weeks. So for the longest time, I have basically said, as a matter of fact, I might change up some of my screen sharing here. Give me a second. I might show you guys a little bit of my personal brain. The personal brain is where I do my planning, or at least where I kind of store everything. And so I don't think I have let's see if this works. Screen, window. Yeah, I got to go to this one. Let's see if this works. Hopefully this works. Let's see if you guys can see this. So yeah, this is my personal brain here. Let's move this out of the way and make sure you guys can at least see me a little bit. So I want to go to my 2026 goals and plans. So we're going to go here, 2026. I'm literally doing this on the fly, you guys. 2026 goals. All right. So as you can see here, the only thing I have so far is January through March, right? And I haven't even started writing that in now. I'm just going to start working that out as I go. But if I go back to last year, you can see here all of my 12-week goals. And I broke them down into career, family, mind, body, and spirit, and finances. This is all what I'm going to be doing this weekend. And here are my 12-week goals from last year in career, finances, health. Check that off. That was super cool. At least check that off. I'm not sure if all these other ones were ever finished. But that was the goal. And so what I love about this is that it does keep me super intentional about only following the goals that will actually make a difference in the current time that I can control. I can control what's going on through from January to March. Can't control March and May, June. I mean, we got a new grandbaby coming in April, most likely. Can't control that. So let's just focus on what is right in front of me. I think of the word when the Bible says that thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Right now, all I want to look at is just this couple of weeks and months. And that way, focusing on that, the 12-week goals, will help me to stay focused on the right things. As you can see here, I do have a 5-year vision. But the 5-year vision is then broken down into the goals for 2026. All right, so that's kind of how I break down my planning for the year. And as you saw, let me go back to 2025. There are certain areas that I want to keep that focused on. I want to keep it focused on career. I want to keep it focused on my family. Those things are what really will move the needle. I have finance and health, and I actually don't have family here, and that's kind of a bad thing. I need to make sure that my family goals are there as well. So that is where I would love for you kind of like to think of, where are you storing these ideas? Where are you continuing to kind of put yourself into what you want to achieve in 2026, but do it in bite-sized sections so that you don't get so overwhelmed when it comes to your goals. One of the things I think is one of the reasons why people quit is because they get overwhelmed. And if you kind of keep things at a certain point where there's not too much going on, you can have a much better shot at finishing and being productive in all the goals that you're setting. I'll give you just a few more examples of what we're trying to achieve in 2026 over here. One of the things that I'm super excited about is that this is our 10th year anniversary of our God and Gigs book right here. So that was written in 2016. So weird to say. Yes, 2016. So 10 years since I've written that book. My goal, honestly, for this year is to do a new edition, is to rewrite it. Y'all, it's January. I've got to get started because I need to have this manuscript done probably in the next month or so, probably 2 months at the latest, so I can get it edited, so we can kind of look at what we're going to do. Are we going to change the cover? All of that is going to matter. So that's a 12-week goal right there, is to finish the manuscript of the rewrite of God and Gigs, the book, so I can do the publishing of it during 2026, because if I don't hurry, I won't make it by the end of this calendar year. Another thing that I really want to focus on this year is the U version plans that we started last year. We started to dig into them. I got 6 done. We kind of taken kind of like a little bit of a hiatus from writing. But now I'm thinking, what if there was a 21, now we already have a 21 day, that's easy. What if there was like a multiple week plan? What if we had a year long plan on U version? That's another goal that I'm setting, along with the writing with the book I'll be writing for U version. Musically speaking, there are new goals this year. I have some new shows that I'm going to be performing in, that I've got to kind of I want to make sure that my music is no longer kind of like sitting on the back burner. I've been kind of a closet creator there, right? Even though I am doing this week after week. I want to get better at my ministry at my church, guiding those band members, pouring into them, teaching more. Obviously, you saw that I am going to be speaking at Podfest. I would like my speaking career to change this year. And one of the things I'm really focusing on, kind of give you kind of one more line, like a window into what's going on. I am definitely not joining any new communities this year. No new gurus, no new communities. This year, I am focusing on being the resource and being the person that is in the mix for all the communities that I'm in. Obviously, that includes God Gigs, but there's also Bootstrap Biz Advice. There's also Podfest, the community of Podfest. There's also, I'm thinking of a couple of other people that I am connected with where I've been a member of their communities, but I've kind of been on the back, kind of hanging out, like not really doing anything, kind of lurking. This is the year that I want to present myself as an authority in those communities, because that's where I would love to share more and speak more and get more speaking opportunities and be more present. And obviously those can lead to things where that can bring an income into the family. So all of those are kind of like my 12-week goals right there, kind of wrapped up, right? Getting more active in these communities, speaking more, looking for speaking opportunities, finish working on the book. And that's enough right there. If I have those goals written out and I'm already set in terms of what I'm aiming for, now it's just a matter of breaking it down. So I hope that it's been helpful to really think of how you're setting up for 2026 in a way that actually gets you to the point where you're getting these goals achieved. I've had this written down in many, many, many of my seminars that 77% is the number of increase of probability that you'll achieve your goals if you write your goals down. 77% more likely to achieve your goals. So I, again, invite you to get a paper planner, do whatever you're going to do, use, a mind mapper like I just kind of showed you. Whatever your process is, check your system, and then make sure you walk out those 12-week goals. Don't try to go too far because it's not going to be able to be sustainable for you. Do it little by little, and you're going to see God really get involved with your goals, because he will, as you apply works to your faith, he will get involved with that. All right. Love this. All right. We're almost to the end. And for those of you who are going to be commenting later, remember, I will be looking for your comments. So I would definitely love to see you guys share. If you are watching on replay, you are not out of the conversation. You are part of the conversation. Okay? So this is where I would love to get your conversation and your comments, as I check in to make sure. Once again, I'm always got to be careful not to forget about the chat, because like I said, this is in a new place. And so we're talking now about our Creator Compass. Now, this is a challenge I gave to our God and Gigs community, really, I think just this week. And this is what it means. My question to you is, what are you using as your compass for the year in terms of keeping you on the right frame of mind? This is not like the mindsets I mentioned earlier. This is what's the scripture that's going to be guiding you this year? What's the thought? What does God kind of put in your spirit that will be your compass to keep you moving toward true north in your creator lifestyle? Now, for me, I have really kind of gone back and forth on this, because I don't believe in adding more words or adding every year a new word. Every year there's got to be a new like phrase, fix it in 26, right? It's like always a rhyme. Also, the Yosemite is here. Yosemite, we are trying something new here, so it might look a little different. We're going to see how this looks. Does this allow you to see? Nice. I wasn't sure how it was going to pop up. Okay, so now we can see that once again, we can see people's comments. We're trying going live on StreamYard, not StreamYard, on Riverside. And so, if you want to check that out, by the way, that's a tool that we recognize and we recommend as an affiliate, godandgeeks.com/Riverside. And now I know that this works. See, so this is perfect. This is really like the trial. We're always going to try something. So we're finding out more and more like what works, what doesn't work. And this is cool because now I know once again that the streaming and the chat, at least on YouTube, works. So this is super cool. Great to have you here. So we're talking about our challenge that you know about this inside of God and Geeks 360 about our creator compass. And I was just about to mention that I feel my word is centered around the harvest because that's what we're doing at Metro. We're talking about the year of the harvest, but it's been kind of melded into another word. And so I'm trying to make sure I'm not like being extra. But my creator compass is kind of like the same as for my family. I'm going to be talking to them and writing them a letter to kind of give them like my mindset for this year, to kind of give them a blessing for this year. And it's centered around treasure. And I think the treasure is something that kind of goes along with harvest. And here's why. A treasure is something that is existing. It's already there. You don't have to actually make a treasure. A treasure like exists. It's buried, which means if you want to get to it, you're going to have to do some digging. You got to find out where it is. And like a harvest, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to take care of a treasure. You either got to, again, work on storing it. You got to keep up with it. You got to protect it. So all these things are kind of like the ways I'm thinking about what God has given me in my creator life. God has put a treasure in each one of us. He calls it that, that the kingdom is like a treasure. And so if your unique creator lifestyle is blessing you, is creating a treasure, it's something that you've got to protect. It's something you've got to dig for. It's something that you've got to actually steward well. You don't want to just like throwing your treasure around. And like I said, this to me has a perfect kind of like synergy with the harvest because the harvest is also something that needs to be protected, needs to be gathered. It can't be just thrown away, can't be wasted. And so that's where my heart is in terms of my creator compass. Now, I'm going to keep working on this. The creator compass isn't supposed to be like a one and done. We challenged our God and Gigs 360 members to write it down and to put it like in a sticky note or someplace where they'll see it all the time. And so I'm still working on that. So all the way through January, some of us are fasting, some of us are doing different things. I'm going to be trying to make sure that I kind of center what exactly this means. So I am glad that this kind of challenge that our God and Gigs 360 community is doing isn't going to be like done in one day. Like that's not the goal. The goal is to kind of to think it over and to make sure that this is an evolving thing. So maybe your creative compass might shift a little bit as you go through like June, like we talked about, the 12-week year. May not make sense to talk about the 12-week year and then say, oh, well, you need to have a compass for the entire year. Maybe this is just right now. This is what's guiding me right now. This verse is guiding me right now. This thought is guiding me right now. Okay? So, awesome. Love that. Okay, she said, yes, nice. Love it. So, that is my challenge to all of you. What is your creator compass for the year? Now, if you can't write it down now, that's fine. But I would love for you guys to come back. Either email me at alan@godandgeeks.com. Especially those of you in the community, you guys can obviously comment on the actual post and share your creator compass for the year or the next 3 months or whatever you think is best. Okay? But the whole point is to share it. And as you share it, you start to build your own faith. You start to really see what's possible for you. And that's what I would highly recommend for everybody. That's the consult. So once again, if you guys watch this on replay and you're like, I think I know what mine is, please put it in the comments. I would love to read it and we can share it and keep each other encouraged. All right, we're almost to the end. And so here is our prescription for today. As I mentioned, our God and Gigs creator checkups kind of exist in these 4 areas: vital signs, then we do our lab work, then we do a consult, and last of all, prescriptions. And our prescription is to subscribe to the Creative Resource Center. You can find it at godandgeeks.com/CRC, but you can also simply go to godandgeeks.com/membership. Either way, you're going to see that link. And here is the kind of like the little caveat I'm going to give you here. Number one, I would love to give you a free gift for joining. You do get a copy, a digital copy of Your Art God's Heart. Actually, all of our books, once you join our membership, you do get a digital copy of everything. But for those of you who join in the next 3 days, let's say this replay plays for the next 3 days, I have, where are they? There they are. Let me go full screen here. I have a copy of Your Art God's Heart that I would love to give you a physical copy of for joining us. So you already get the digital copies. But what I would love for you is to send you a physical copy. And especially now, if you join during this week, the reason why I love starting the 3-week journey of Your Art God's Heart during this week is because if you start it, today's the 9th, if you start it today or tomorrow, you get to finish it by January 31st. And you get 21 days right in the beginning of January. Now, of course, if I'm going to ship this to you, you got to join right away because it won't get to you until like maybe, the 21st. You'll go me the 12th. So you might go over a day or two. I don't want that to be like a hindrance to you. So still sign up for GodAgainst.com/membership. And I will send you a physical copy along with the digital copies that you will get. So that is my gift to you if you decide to join us. But like Simony could tell you, Simony will tell you that there's so much joy and camaraderie and connection and prayer that goes on inside the membership that I don't feel like I need to bribe you. I just want to make it even more valuable for you for joining us. And so that's why I would love to see you inside the membership. My personal goal, to be very honest, I want to tell you my goals. My goal is I would love to see 10 new members. We've got right now 67. Gosh, how many? We're about 67, I want to say 65, 67. I actually have to go in and look. Okay. But I would love to see more. As a matter of fact, once again, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek here because nobody else gets to see this, but you guys are on the actual link. I love this. I have to show these all each individually. So Simony says all of this. The way she wrote that, I had to kind of do it like I had to kind of work on my clicking skills. All right, but I'm going to give you guys a quick look what's going on inside 360 just so you can see why I invite you to join. And here is inside the app. Here's what's happening right now. We are right now in the Friday live stream. Tomorrow we will have our TMI, which is called our Too Many Ideas opening planning session. This is kind of different. I used to do this for everyone, whether or not you were inside the membership. But I think we're changing this to a members only. Only members will be in the TMI opening planning session. Now we'll think about this. I started it as just kind of like opening the doors to everyone, but it's been super popular. So this will be open to all of our members. Okay. The replays will be open to our CRC members. But I'm still trying to decide whether or not we're going to open this to everybody. I don't think so. I feel like the TMI is now a special kind of moment where everybody can kind of gather. And so we might leave this only for our God and Gigs members, CRC included, maybe even our basic members who don't necessarily have the subscription. We'll see. I'm still thinking about this. But if you sign up today, we will get you guys in. All right, then we have our gold coaching call on the 12th. I mentioned the Podfest Multimedia Expo, and then our 22nd, our How to Read Your Bible Better workshop. And by the way, I want to make sure you guys see, it's not just events that we're doing. We're doing our challenges. We're having a lot of these cool polls that we share. We have our friends sharing the different work that they're doing. There's Jen over there who is opening a school community. There's Simony celebrating a Happy New Year. Other polls that we're sharing where people are in these other areas. They're sharing their tools, sharing their new, where is it? I saw that where Manuel was sharing his new YouTube where he was getting a bunch of people feedback or he was getting feedback on that. So much going on inside our membership. And that's why, like I said, we can't just do this on Facebook, y'all. We're not going to be feeding all this to Facebook. Facebook does not get the benefit of having all of this where they get to decide who gets to see it. Like, that's not the way we want to run things. We want it where our members run things. These are the people that I want to be connecting together. All right. These are the people, not the random people that Facebook kind of locks us out and doesn't let us see what's actually going on. So that's why we took our membership off of Facebook last year. And I wholly committed to the God and Gigs community being here on our app. So once again, if you want to join us there this year and get the free gift, just go to godandgigs.com/membership. Also godandgigs.com/app. That also works. Same site will get you there, and you can join us. And I would highly recommend, by the way, there is a monthly payment, and a yearly payment. Might be smart to do the yearly at the beginning of the year. No more payments for the rest of the year. Just that one payment will take care of it. And it does discount it, I think, like 17%, 20% less to do the yearly. So I would highly recommend you do the yearly if you do that. Yes, Simony says it, and I will co-sign. Join 360 today. I co-sign that 100%. All right. Well, this has been a great first using live streaming here on Riverside. Shout out to Riverside. If you want to check out Riverside, go to godandgigs.com/Riverside. Didn't know how it would work. Turned out wasn't a problem at all. We were able to stream to 2 different locations. We were able to use all of our notifications and putting up all of that it felt very natural. So you guys tell me in the comments, those who are watching, whether you liked this particular format. Did you feel like, the sound, everything was working? Tell me whether or not this was a good way of presenting this, because, I will change it if we need to change back and get another thing. But as I mentioned, this is a subscription that we are already using for 90% of our stuff. It's like, well, why not use it for live streaming? And so far, so good. So let me know what you thought of it. But I was really, really, really appreciative. It was amazing for me. I enjoyed it. And by the way, like I said, this is one of the other things I'm liking. I've never done before. So we're going to cheer. Yeah. Thank you so much. Too much. All right, that's too much fun. All right. So we're not going to go there with too much of the sound effects, but as you can see, we could have a lot of fun with some of that stuff. All right. So my friends, until next time, remember, let me give you quick updates. I'm overtime. Podcast episode on Monday. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. Podcast episode on Tuesday, not Monday. Changing that up. Tuesday's podcast episode. Friday's live stream. We may live stream from Podfest. I don't know yet. We will try. We will see if we can go from there. Oh, and good to see. Wait, we're going over time, but I'm glad. Thank you for that. I appreciate you letting me know about that. It's clear because I wasn't even sure, how it worked, but I got this new camera, trying to get the lighting a little better, everything trying to improve in 2026, right? So good to see you. So glad to see that you were able to join us in our Creator Checkup. So as I was mentioning, podcast episode on Tuesdays now. Got to get used to that. Friday, we will still do our live streams. The Creator Checkup for our newsletter will probably go out on Thursdays. Okay, just kind of leading into this. And we'll still do our TMI and everything that I mentioned. You can see all that inside the membership. Okay. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been amazing starting off 2026 with you. And as I say all the time, until next time, continue to become the creator that you were created to be. God bless.